Listen up, because a lot of men make the mistake of thinking that quiet is a sign of weakness, and I want you to hear me out when I say that there is a tremendous amount of strength in your silence. Now you're going to sit there and accept it despite the fact that she's done you this tremendous disservice. Aren't you going to permit me to explain to you why being absolutely silent would be a more severe penalty for her than any other option that might be available? Simply keeping silent is not only the more viable option, but it also has a greater chance of producing the desired result in the first place. It is undeniable evidence that you have progressed. Beyond being on the same plane of existence as her, when two people are in a committed relationship, they naturally develop a deep familiarity with one another and their inner workings. She has broken the trust that is required for you to be able to have that kind of conversation in a committed relationship with her, and as a result, she is no longer permitted to access your most private emotions and thoughts. The right to do so has been taken away from her. If she is unable to access that information, she will become quite irate, and when she finally gets what she wants, you can bet she'll act like a spoiled brat. She is irate because you are not explaining to her why she was stripped of her privileges and what your thoughts are on the matter. It's probable that she'll try to put you down in some way if she needs information from you. She can start a quarrel or an argument with you in order to get your blood pumping and your guard up. Do not yield to her demands. It is meaningless for me to attempt to explain anything to you about time spent as an investment. You feel that she is interested in finding a method to justify herself and that she is probing you for information about your reasoning so that she may contradict your allegations. This is why she is inquiring about you. Assume that she is interested in finding a way to justify herself. She raises a valid point of contention now that she has been caught cheating. Her body is in turmoil as a result of the stress and uncertainty that she feels, and she is attempting to regain her footing by any means necessary. Give her nothing she can use to argue with. If she finds out what you know, she will know exactly how you're feeling and will be able to reclaim some control. Give her nothing she can use to argue with. A simple favor is being requested of you at this time. You owe her nothing. The beauty of your silence is that she is left to wonder what you are thinking. You have nothing to lose by remaining silent, and you have everything to gain. This is the conclusion that he draws about me, and he believes it to be correct. The fact that he is aware of each and every one of these details about me makes it quite clear that, in his opinion, I am an absolutely repulsive human being. This is how it operates when you are not making any noise. She will convince herself that you have the worst qualities. She sees qualities in you and will attribute those qualities to you because if you start talking and give her something specific to argue about and hand her a lifeline, you give her permission to escape her own moral judgment. You must remain silent in order to allow her to stew in the juice of her own moral degradation. Allow her to confront this subject with her own conscience now that she is on her way to embracing her own moral flaws and seeing what a horrible person she is, and she is on the path to accepting these things. It is imperative that you make the most of this chance as soon as possible as a result of your recent realization that judgment is the only factor that truly matters. You may relax in the knowledge that both the direction your life takes and the manner in which other people interact with you are entirely within your command. What you should do if you find out that your girlfriend has been cheating on you with another man is to argue with her, tell her off, and point out all of the bad things she's done. Many guys have the mistaken notion that they're being manly and in control of the situation. The vast majority of individuals are under the impression that this is true, but they are wrong in that they are endeavoring to convince the woman that her behavior was unacceptable. If your behavior reflects on your own life, ask yourself, have I ever said something like this to a woman? And then consider the answers. Which aspect of the heinousness of what you've done do you simply not comprehend? Do you have any regrets or feelings of wrongdoing about what you did? I believe that you have treated me unfairly, and I hope that you were able to understand this nuance in those texts. They are not, in fact, exercising moral judgment or condemnation of anybody or anything when they finally find out the truth. You are essentially asking her to verify that you are a victim in this situation. You could believe that you are making a convincing argument, but what I'm really trying to say is that while I agree with you that your behavior was inappropriate, I'm not entirely persuaded by your argument. That is true, and in order for me to truly accept that what you did was wrong, I need both your assurance and proof of that fact, expressing the notion that it is not necessary to seek the approval of other people in order to make a moral decision. What difference does it make if this occurs or does not occur? The fact that she simply stated that the things she did were wrong means that she is okay with them. Where does her approval fit into the bigger picture? It was she who caused you grief. It was she who cheated on you and violated your trust in such a horrific way. She is the one who is to blame. The fact that she is engaging in such a heinous act disqualifies her as a person of moral character, and as a result, we should not give any credence to what she has to say because we cannot trust what she is doing. She has come to the conclusion that her behavior was unacceptable. That was no big deal because nobody truly cared about it because she was the one who cheated. It was clear that she had no morals, and her opinion was disregarded. You are only giving her more ammunition to use against you. When you dispute with her or urge her to prove that you are the victim, you will wind up feeling even more dejected and betrayed as a result. Yes, I can empathize with each and every one of those states of mind. However, despite the fact that they are reasonable and appropriate, you ought to keep them to yourself. It is not up to you to let her know what is going on in your thoughts. She has no right to know, and it is not your responsibility to tell her. Make the most of this opportunity to show yourself that you no longer care about the suffering she is going through, and demonstrate this to yourself. Since you are aware that what she did was inappropriate and her point of view is not important, you are not allowed to discuss this matter with anyone outside of your own thoughts. She has no right to know, and it is not your responsibility to tell her. Make the most of this opportunity to show yourself that you no longer care about the suffering she is going through, and demonstrate this to yourself since you are aware that what she did was inappropriate and her point of view is not important. You are not allowed to discuss this matter with anyone outside of your group. I am conscious of the fact that some people have a strong desire for revenge. You are hurt and want to get even, but I have to warn you that if you start blaming and harassing the person who wronged you, she may begin to believe that she was the one who was wronged and your efforts will have been for naught. She will become irate and immediately begin to argue that you are in the wrong. You don't want to have that kind of sensation. You do not want her to have the impression that she is being harassed or that she is a victim. It's not a good example of behavior on her part. You only need to take some money out of the account and everything will be okay. If you can't help but include it in our demands, let her face the consequences of her bad behavior. I hope that you will get in touch with your ex-girlfriend and have a conversation about what took place if you are ever in a scenario in the future that is analogous to this one in order to discover what the heck happened and the reason why she cheated, not for her advantage but rather for the purposes of your own data collection. Is there anything else I should know about you that I'm not aware of that I could have done to facilitate the connection? Was there anything that could have prevented this from happening? It was always obvious that something wasn't quite right with her, but for some reason he never picked up on it. This truth is being brought to your attention at this time. You must gather knowledge despite your aversion to the idea. You will have to engage in conversation with her once more. The fact that we are not able to learn from our mistakes in the past ensures that we will continue to fail in the future, which is why I think it is important to collect data. Always keep in mind the pain you've caused yourself as a result of your adultery. You shouldn't put yourself through that situation again if you can help it. Preparing ahead, carrying out all of your research, and following up to ensure that nothing untoward has occurred are all important steps. The fact that I was not able to anticipate this development baffles me. You should really give that some thought in order to prevent yourself from making the same mistakes in the future that you made in the past. I would have attempted to contact this person after some time had passed and the intensity of the hurt had decreased solely for the purpose of gathering all relevant information in one location throughout the duration of that process. I would still devote the majority of my time to just answering your queries without making any other comments, then immediately exiting the establishment. It's possible that the guidance in this video will appear paradoxical to you if you're currently going through a period in which you feel helpless and victimized. On the other hand, based on my own experiences, I am aware that there is a strong desire to speak out and make one's voice heard in order to reclaim the power that has been taken away.